to the Two Yachts for a Saint Rugby League podcast, now powered by Acorn Joinery Leeds. So a massive, massive thank you to Graham Parker for the support. It's going to make a lot of difference to us. Um, yep, Carl, Jordan, we're back again. Should we get straight into the review of round 27? It's in.
There you go. I'm done now.
The thought was there, wasn't it?
The thought was there.
That's it, mate. Shall we get straight into the review of round 27 then?
Yeah.
It's been a pretty decent round for two of our teams. Not so much for Jordan's team, but me and Gaz are fairly happy with our
Well,
results.
given the fact that we had we had a lot of players rested as well, you know what I mean? So, and Cass played well, I'll give him the due. So, yeah, going to the playoffs with a win, so you can't really argue with that.
That's it, mate. So yeah, last stage you just gone. So Hull FC versus the Catalan Dragons. Hull FC's place. The Dragons came through with a 26 points to 20 win. You boys predicted an Hull FC win. I predicted a Catalan win, and you both laughed at me at the time last week. So
Yeah.
1-0 to Carlos. So
Yeah.
it's one of those where
Don't
sort of
talk to me about
conceded to
predictions at the
Kermine.
moment.
So I will take that all day long. I don't know if you boys saw much of that game, but Dragons pretty much deserved the win in the end.
Yeah, it's like they've turned up when it doesn't matter, in a way.
Done what Warrington did.
Yeah, left it a bit too late.
That's it too late, yeah.
But fair play to him. And I'll say one of our ones, a Wigan lad, but Tommy Makeson getting his 200th try. So well done to him.
Yeah, he's been a hell of a servant for the game, for St Helens for the game, and obviously he's sort of seen his days out of the Dragons, and he's made that 200 milestone. So credit to him. The other game on Thursday night was obviously the mighty Hull Kingston Rovers getting a win made difficult in the end, but ultimately a win they needed to clinch the league leaders' shield with a 28 point to 20 victory at Craven Park. Like I said a second ago, they made it hard work, but they did what they needed to do, and they've done that a few times this season. They've grinded out a result when they've needed it. Two special mentions for me. It was Artem Org, obviously. The try speaks for itself, and I'm pretty sure I might say that further down in the podcast somewhere, Jordan. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I could be wrong, but I'd like to think it'd be in contention. And another special mention to Super Tyrone May. To be fair, he gets a lot of flack when he's not quite doing it. A lot of people say he turns up and plays in his dinner suit, but when he needs to do it the most, he does normally turn up with a big play. So credit to them two boys, yeah, and all around good result in the end. Like I say, obviously I'm biased, so first league leaders in the cabinet for Rovers. People play it down, don't they, lads? People. It's not made as big as the grand final trophy and all that type of stuff. But I was always, brought up as a kid. If you could find consistently, over the 27th round, that's got to be worth something on its own, consistency over them long period of time. What do you guys think in terms of that?
Go on. You go first, Jordan.
No, I just think it's a good thing. Like, really is. Like, when you think back, like when Huddersfield won it, it just gives that club that more. You go a bit more harder, don't you, in season, because it is a bit of silverware, and obviously, usually the ones who win it usually are around about grand final, aren't they? So it's a credit, like I say, to OKR for getting two trophies. Let's hope they can go and do third one. Like I say, I was buzzing when I saw them lift trophy. I thought it were really, really good atmosphere on there, and lifted trophy in dark with a bit of light on. I thought it was great. Just something. It's nice to see. I think it's really good for sport. I don't think it was as big before, but I do like that it's coming and it's been bigged up a bit more now than it has done. So yeah, full credit. I really do like the Leaders Shield.
It looks better now than it used to before it was a bloody plate, but it does look better
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
But I
it
mean,
does.
for a club who only a few years ago lost the £1 million game to get promoted to kick on and get to that level, it does say a lot for the club and the fans backing them. So, fair play to you, Cal. Well done.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think you're right in both of what you're saying there. It's one of those, and I was watching the awards on Saturday night actually, and people forget where we come from. Like you've just touched on, Gaz, and I think a lot of that's got to be a massive credit to Neil Udgell, because if there was no Neil Udgell involved keeping the team going through, the dark times, they wouldn't have got to this point. So I think massive amounts of credit has to go to Neil and his behind the scenes staff, for a lot of years. So credit to them, credit to all the squad, So there's people behind the scenes that need credit as well as the players and the people lifting the trophies at the end of it.
it's one of those as well, Carl. I think a lot of teams need to go into that dark sort of place and come out. You know what I mean? You get that sort of feel of like what they're worth, sort of thing, and how much they
Yeah.
want to come
So it's what
back.
we
And
call
you know what I mean?
character
Like I
building.
say, yeah, I mean, like I say, hopefully this thing, similar. This might happen with Salford, hopefully. But like I say, it happened with you guys, and you were down at bottom, and you either could have just lied down and just took it, and that'd have been it. But you didn't.
Yeah.
You wanted to come back, and you fought, and you gained more players, and you showed you wanted to be in Super League, and you matched up with big games, and like I say, it's taken a few years to get there, but look where you are now. It's absolutely amazing. It's so nice to see. Like I say, I bang on so much about how I like the underdog. I always have done. I like that it in St Helens at top, Leeds at top. Yeah, fair enough. Wigan, more or less where they usually are, but it's nice to see someone else up there. It really is, and it's good for sport. It keeps it fresh. It keeps it interesting. It probably brings more fans in because people look at it, especially if you're an older generation. You're like, oh, Saints are still winning league again, or whatever. It's nice to see that, because we've watched games so many years, haven't we? Where season starts and you're like, Cast Tigers, like, well, you're not going to do nothing here. You're not going to win grand final. Where you see OKR turned up this year, right? Kicked on. It just shows you that anyone can kind of do it if you've got that belief. And like I say, full credit to him. I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing that it's someone different.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think just before we part this one up, I think if you ask the majority of fans, apart from your Wiggins, your Saints, your Leeds, they'd probably like to see somebody else lift the grand final also. So us as sports fans, we are greedy. I mean, Rovers haven't had a major trophy for 40 years. It's like a bus in it. All of a sudden we've had two. But like I was about to say, we are greedy as sports fans, and now Rovers want to go on and get that third. And that's what it's all about, striving for greatness, isn't it? So hopefully the best two teams get to Old Trafford.
When you think of Wigan doing quadruple last year, right? Because I know Pete mentioned this. Obviously, just mentioning one of that, he was gutted that they didn't get top. Which, let's be fair, they didn't deserve top. If they deserved top, they'd have got top.
Yeah.
You would be more consistent throughout the season. When I looked actually through the rounds, you hit top at table from fourth round and didn't move from round 4. Wigan didn't get second until round 8. So you've already got 4 rounds on top of them where you've maintained through season and they haven't. So that speaks for itself for me. But like when you think about it, they've done quadruple, right? You've already taken Challenge Cup off them. You've already taken Leader Shield off them. You take Grand Final off them. They've only got World Cup Challenge. And it's like they dominated so much last year. And could you actually imagine if it just flips just like that 12 months later?
Yeah, it's a mad situation.
It'd be special. Yeah, it'd be very special. What I would say is like Gaz said last week regarding St Helens and their league position, the table doesn't lie over 27 rounds, does it?
No, it doesn't.
So,
No.
Like Gaz said, it doesn't lie, and that's the end of it. So we'll credit to Rovers, and let's move on to the Friday night games. After the Thursday night games, I won't say there was dead rubbers, but there was a few games on Friday where, you know, we knew Hull FC lost, so we pretty much knew Wakefield was qualified for that 7th spot. And there's a few other dead rubbers, so to speak, weren't they? We saw Lee at home to the Huddersfield Giants. They came out with a 30 points to 16 win. Salford, again, competed hard for half an hour or so, and then Wakey sort of blew them away in the second half, and Wakefield won 52 points to 16. Gaz's St Helens, they're sort of, would you say, scraped over the line, Gaz, of a 26-24 win? What was your take on that game, mate?
Yeah, they did what I expected. I thought they'd rest a few players, you know, especially in the pack. But the issue we've got now is Lewis Murphy came on for half an hour and went off injured again. So we don't know. I mean, we might have to cut our losses there, if I'm going to be completely honest. Morgan Knowles had a good game. Leon Cohen and Jake Davis got the debuts as well. They've got the heritage number. Same with Shane Wright as well. He got his debut. So it's good to get some players have a little run out.
I know. I saw bits of the game. Castleford who scored that full length in the second half? Was it?
Yeah. It was from the kickoff, like the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it looked like a decent effort. I'm sure Jordan's been doing his own work with his try the week later on in the pod.
Honestly, I was stood there applauding that try. I was like, Joe, what credit where it's due there. That's special.
Yeah, and sometimes you've got to be like that, and you know that's what we play the game for. That's what we watch the game for moments like that. Yeah, of course, mate. And that's just the classiness, the nature you've got about yourself, and the St Helens Club have got about them. So yeah, we'll move on to the Jordan's obviously favourable Leeds Rhinos. They took a narrow-ish defeat and they went down 22 points.
He's gone. Honestly, put a pair of goggles on, you look like a minion.
So they went down 22-6 to Wigan at the Brick Community Stadium. Wigan are coming good. Is anything that you saw, Jordan, that thought, you know, next week we'll give Saints a closer game than they give Wigan this week?
Well, it's got to be a completely different team, that's for sure. I knew from 5-10 minutes in we weren't winning that game. The team weren't anywhere near strong enough to even compete with that Wigan team. There's just like a lot of stuff in that lineup. I mean, I know we had a couple of injuries. I feel like a lot of them is saving for next week. I don't really know if a lot of them are bad injuries. I think they were just like they probably could have played. But it's like Riley Lum coming in. You know, he hadn't played for 10 weeks, and he comes in, and it's like, where's he playing? You know what I mean? It's one of those, and then yet again the talking point, like we were talking last week. No Jake Connor. I thought Sinfield played well in attack. His kicking game weren't great. Neither were, you know, Croft. So there were no threat in that game. There were no threat at all. I thought Pack did all right. But it wasn't even that we played bad. It was just I feel like Brad Arthur just didn't give us a shot. Like the team he put out, just we were never gonna do anything, and it was just I think if anything it were like fortune that we only got beat by 22 points to 6. I think we could have, you know, it could have been a lot higher. Which I
don't know, Gaz. It's one of those. It's one of those. Sorry, I think Brad Arthur's sort of. I think he knows what he was sort of in for after them Thursday night results, and he's probably just being cautious with a few of their players. Like you say, I think when I put the game on, there was Miller, Ryan Hall, Jake Connor, a couple of others sat on the bench, sort of, you know, just rested up, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those. If I won't say going in half-hearted, that's maybe a bit of a disservice to Brad Arthur. But I think if you go in and you're not
he's
quite
probably fancied a game against Saints rather than Wakefield, if I'm honest, and I don't blame him. The way we're playing.
No, I just
cut that bit out.
It has got to be a completely different side.
Yeah.
I feel like if we, I mean, it's going to be weird. Don't get me wrong, because Ash Hanley's going to probably play. I know he's rumoured to play, and it's like he hasn't played for X amount of weeks. It's gonna be one of those things where I feel like Saints have they've been struggling with that spine, but they've kind of got through the games with who they've got. And I'm worried that when Leeds play this week, it's going to be one of those things where we throw in bodies back because we're panicking because we don't want to get knocked out. And it's one of those things where is it too late for everyone to come back fit and perform? Do you know what I mean? It's just one of those for me. I'm just worried a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're a bit of the same issue. We've got players like carrying knocks, so it is going to be interesting.
Yeah, well, it'll make for good viewing, won't it? Both clubs yourself, St Helens and Rhinos, are just sort of not sort of it in the straps where they need to be. They're somewhere thereabouts, but just not clinical in that final third, are they? With certain players missing. We know Saints have been a bit scratchy in attack majority of the season, and I think for Rhinos it boils down to your Lockie Millers and your Jake Connors to create in the final third. So it'll be. That elimination game on Saturday at Headingley, that will be a massive game, and it'll be very intriguing to see what happens with the outcome of that. So, one other result, just to sort of see the weekend's rugby out, I'm going to start giving them a bit of a mention more. The women's semi-final. I know Gaz was at the Saints versus York Valkyrie game yesterday. Right. Obviously, Saints won 12 points away, very narrow win. Saw some good rugby, to be fair. There was a fair few in the crowd as well, Gaz. I believe you was there, mate. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Enjoyed it. It was a tough game of rugby league, to be honest. I think it was tougher than most of the blokes games, if I'm honest. Which an absolute credit to the women's game. It's showing how much they can turn up. Expected a close game, if I'm honest. I enjoyed it. I was sat around Jodie Cunningham's family, so that was fun to hear.
Oh, he was on best behaviour then.
Well, there was a point where I said something, and I think it was Nan told me off a little bit, but she was joking. It was all right. It was funny.
No, to be fair to Saints, that last sort of 5 or 10 minutes, they showed some strong goal line D. Valkyrie was putting a bit of pressure on their goal line, and if it wasn't for them repelling them, majority of the other teams would have got through and probably got the win in the end. But credit to St Helens ladies that they put up a good fight towards the end, and they deserve to be in the grand final. The other semi-final
came down to goal kicking in the end, because obviously they missed 2 conversions. We got both of ours, so that's all it came down to.
Yeah, I think when I put the Wigan Leeds game on just last night, a close win for Saints, and credit to them. So they're in the grand final. The other semi-final was Wigan versus the Leeds ladies. Unfortunately, Jordan, another result that didn't go for you this weekend. I won't say men against boys. It was women against girls, shall we say. So, yeah, I don't know if you caught any of it, Jordan. They just couldn't quite get up the field and get to the right end of the pitch, Rhinos. And that was a credit to Wigan's defence. They've got some good players on attacking show, and some big ladies through the middle who can knock some holes about. So
it's one of those. I don't understand me at the moment, because they were dominating for so many years when it all come about, and it was just like you know what I mean? It's one of those where it's like York, Valkyrie, and St Helens, and then it's usually like Leeds. Like we're normally like third best team, but Wigan have kind of come out, and like 38-0 is just shocking, isn't it? Really, considering like how good they do for season, and they're always competing.
It shows the job that Dennis Betts has done with them.
Oh yeah,
you took the words right on my mouth there. Yeah. You took my words right on the mouth, because the last couple of seasons have just come from nowhere, haven't they? And I think Dennis Betts and his coaching staff have worked wonders, especially on some of the younger ones coming through, and obviously they've got a mix of experience in there, so they've probably got a nice blend of youth and experience at the moment. Congratulations to Saints. They play Wigan ladies in the grand final. I believe it's at the Brit Community on the 5th of October. Gaz, will you be there?
Yeah, it's the only grand final I'm going to go to this season, so I'm going to make the most of it.
Do you know what? I had a feeling you was going to say that when I was reading that out. But Nah, don't write yourself off just yet, mate. You know, you're still in the playoffs, the men's team, and you know anything can happen. So yeah, that wraps up the weekend's games and results. We're going to move on to Bad Lads Corner now. The match review panel. Obviously, it's the end of the season. There's no big shocks in stall. There's no, when I'm looking through the list, there's nobody banned for games, etc. So we've got a Trinity player, Steph Nekativo, if I pronounce that right. He had 1 penalty point, no further action. Lewis Gorman, he was on loan from Rovers to Salford. He's 1 penalty point, no further action. George Flanagan from the Huddersfield Giants, again, 1 penalty point, no further action. I think you can see where this is going into the season type of thing. Zach Wolford, he had 1 penalty point and he's received a fine. Adam Olroyd from the Warrington Wolves, he's received 2 penalty points, no further action. A bizarre one, this. Luke Carey from the Catalan Dragons, he's received two penalties. One's for 3 points and one's for 1 point for 2 separate offences. One's a fine and one's no further action. So there's no bans for obvious reasons, probably because it's the last game of the season and the RFL want to get some money into the beer kitty at the end of the year, I'd say.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Out. Yeah. You will be relieved to know there's no Saints players in there. I know Delaney's been in there a few times this season, hasn't he? I mean,
yeah,
so that's probably a bonus for you.
Yeah, he should be back in for the Leeds game, but I think he's just one of those players. He plays on the edge, a bit like Leeds and Knowles have done in the past, but he just needs to come back over the edge a little bit rather than nose diving over the bastard thing.
Yeah, I think all his intentions are right. He just needs to reel it in a bit, doesn't he? He's trying to make an impact, and sometimes he crosses that line. So yeah, that's bad lads corner as we call it. That's all the match review panel squared up. Now on to Gaz's team of the week.
Yep, and I'm bending the rules a little bit this week because there's performers in there that I couldn't leave out, so I've had to put him out of position a little bit. But again, it's my team. So my fullback going with Artem Morg. Had a cracking game, ran the game again. My wingers, Lewis Martin and Will Tate. This the controversial one now is Guillermo Aspirito Bichet. I know he didn't play centre, but you know I had to get him in there somewhere. Bevan French, and I'm sure you'll be happy with this one. Tyrone May. 100%. My star player is the number 9, Jez Litton. Again, just doesn't stop. England's best number 9 in my opinion. I'll say it week in, week out. And me props, I've gone with Ben Garcia and Noah Stevens getting his first Super League try. That row is Sam Walters and James Bell. Again, James Bell coming on, doing what he does best. And no surprise at number 13, Morgan Knowles.
Solid team there, mate. Definitely.
So with that done, we move on to Jordan and his try of the week. And I've got a feeling I know what it is.
Try of the week this week. There's only 2 that stand out, and probably the 2 that you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, the St. Helens try from Castleford. I'll be honest, I don't know who scored.
It was Will Tate. So he got an hat trick. I think he's got that. Yeah, I think it was Will Tate.
I didn't see who scored, but brilliant kick. I thought that was just out of nothing. It were, do or die. They weren't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it were.
You want to see that in a game? You want to see that kind of like absolute win play?
Yeah, it were brilliant that. But yeah, the try of the week.
It's another tester. It always is off that left foot. Morg beats a couple of defenders and beats another, and suddenly the way is wide open. And Artem Morg, the Frenchman, he's chasing, but he's being chased hard. He steps away and scores a try. That's what that means.
individual brilliance.
No argument for that.
I thought he might do, mate.
I think what it is like, say, I thought Warrington brought whatever, A game, I don't know, effort, everything, at you. They threw everything at you. They were in it more or less right to the end. They pushed you right to end. I just thought it were one of those tries that you could tell that what game sealed after that, and it was just how it all came about. The sidestep, the under player's arm, and just the break tackle. I think it were a brilliant try. I think in my mind it's more the significant of the try that stands out. Brilliant try. That's my try of the week is Arthur Morg.
Well, there we go. So with that done, we move on to the we've got Carl's news round next.
Yeah. So news round this week, just not so much, but some interesting reading. So I'll obviously go through it and get your opinion. You guys, Hooker confirmed the departure of Mickey McIlorum. He's returning to the Dragons in a coaching role under Tompkins. So that'll be an interesting, won't be interesting because obviously lived out there before as a player. So it's probably a good fit for him. Also, more news from Rovers. Danny Richardson, he's left now. So he was at Saints, wasn't he, Gaz? He'll be a decent fit for somebody, surely.
Danny Richardson.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I've always liked his kicking game. I just think his defense has lacked quite a bit more. I remember there was a game against Warrington on a Thursday night, and we got a penalty, I think just about on halfway, and Danny stepped up as there was the last couple of seconds of the game, and he slotted it. So that sent the West Stand into chaos. So he's got that in his game, but he's a player who you want to if you want someone just to kick the ball, then he's the sort of player you go for.
It'd be great for one of these teams coming up.
Yeah, it like say, well, we don't lose coming up, but like a York or a Bradford or whatever, someone like that. He'd be spot on there.
Yeah.
100%. He's definitely got something to give. So that's that piece of news. This next one. So I won't say it's random. It's not good for the game, but I'm going to discuss it anyway. Obviously, we talk about all things rugby league on this podcast. So Victor Radley, and Brandon Smith have been getting themselves in a bit of bother regarding drugs in Australia. There was one point last week where the Roosters chairman had come out and said, right, we're cutting ties with Radley straight away. Like, now that's it, we're done. And then a couple of days later, it's come out now that they found a bit of a loophole in the salary cap over there. So the clubs give him a 10 game ban and $150,000 fine, and 30 that will be going to a charity over there in Sydney. The thing with the 10 game ban is, I've read this morning that there's salary cap loop in it for them, so they can deregister him 10 games. Now, there was adamant he was going to get shut of him was Nick Politis, I think he's called the chairman for the Roosters. That was rumoured, but then this, I won't say it was a proposal, this loophole has come to light. So I know teams obviously would have been sniffing around Radley if he was going to be released. Found this loophole and he's now been fined 150,000 Australian dollars, like I said, and a 10 game fine.
Well,
as bluntly as it is, lads, we don't need that, do we? Now us game.
Is that not something he could stop him from playing for England?
Well, this is another thing that needs to be discussed. This is what the Roosters have given this fine. So whether it's just at club level or international level, I'm not sure, mate. It's still obviously open to rumours and interpretations and things. I think this is just an in-house what the Roosters have done. I'll be surprised if it thing is with the national team. But the sad thing for me about it is when the first few days when the news come out, I think St Helens and there was another club, I can't remember what I read. There was rumoured to be linked with him, and I thought, for the Super League game, why is it we're always rumoured with these players when they're either at the back end of the career or they've done something a bit naughty?
Bad boys.
You know what I mean? What,
Well, it's Ben Barber all over again, that, isn't it?
yeah,
Bad lads
yeah.
corner.
It's just not. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
bad
just
lads
not a good
corner,
look for the. He'd be right in the corner, wouldn't he? But it's just not
Yeah.
a good look for the game, is it? You know,
No.
we talk about all the positive stuff, and we just don't need this in our game. So I hope, you know, if it comes out that he has done what's been accused, and you know the evidence is there, then I think he deserves everything he gets. You know, what would you say about that, Gaz?
Well, first, in case anyone's interested, I've just done the conversion, and it works out as 73,250 pounds sterling is fine, which sounds a lot more than it weirdly. Yeah, I mean, it's always us being linked with him. Like, obviously, we had Barber come over after what he did. Tristan Saylor with the accusations that he had over there. Josh Papali'i as well, with everything that's been going on with him. And we just seem to be linked with players who's just misbehaved over there. I think you don't see as much over here because we're not as like the players over here are not as regarded as superstars within the world of sport as they are over there. You know, that's they're like footballers over there compared to here.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And there's always
media
something going on
circus
with
over there,
football,
isn't
isn't
it? Yes.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
just don't want to see it, do we?
Yeah, I mean, we should be going, no, we don't want him. Like, we should always say no. But, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it?
That's it.
Like,
So
Sonny Bill Williams was
hopefully,
another one, wasn't
yeah, the list goes on, doesn't it? I suppose
Willie Mason.
when you think back,
he? Yeah.
Big Willie. Yeah, enough said about him, the better from a Rovers point of view. So we'll move on. The next piece of news was confirmed today. I think we discussed all things London Broncos a few weeks back when Darren Lockyer was slinging his weight about. Today they've confirmed the signing of Jason Demetriou as the head coach for 3 years, you know, until 2028. So it looks like wheels are in motion there, and obviously it's very promising by what we've read and we've discussed so far, Jordan. I know last time we spoke about it, you was sort of up in the air with it. You thought there was some big issues that might stop it from happening. Is this the first box ticked?
Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, it were rumoured anyways. You know, there were no other coach, were there really, that were kind of linked. It was just Dimitri, wasn't it? But I think, yeah, it's definitely first box ticked. I'd say. I think it's nice to hopefully, like say, get some news in the coming weeks. Find out exactly what's going on with them. Like you stated, you know, they weren't doing this for no reason. I think I do actually agree with you. I do think like they are a certain into Super League because I think you're not going to come over and invest and play Championship or this new tier league that they're doing. But yeah, I'm really excited for him. I mean, he's a quality coach. I'd have him at Leeds tomorrow. He's going to bring some good energy to the team, which you know they really do need.
Surely a positive, Gaz. This isn't it?
It is, but I don't want it to be the typical Aussie coach stepping stone to get another job in the NRL, which we've seen it over and over again. You know, we had it with Justin Albrook, Ian Millwood. I mean, I'm just talking Saints here. It's happened all over the place. I mean, so Sam Burns will be the next one if he pulls his finger out.
The only thing I would say with the Jason Demetriou signing as the coach for the Broncos is that it was at South, wasn't he? Was it last year before? He was assistant for a while. It didn't quite happen for him. So from a London Broncos point of view, he's got to go and prove himself again, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that will, you know, fuel the fire and they'll get the best out of him.
I just think like, yeah, he was assistant, but I disagree a little bit there. I don't think he would use this as a stepping stone because he's made himself over there. I mean, he's been over there for a lot of years, hasn't he? You know, kind of proving himself in coaching after being a player. I think it's a project that is coming over here and he's putting his all into it. and I think he wants to kind of make London maybe a new OKR, or at least get to that level of competing for stuff. I think he's here for right reasons. I do actually believe that. It's just the signings. I just want to make sure that they're not signing just, anyone can sign. Okay, I can go and sign a world class. You can sign Cleary, can't you? But is he going to fit in team? Like, they need to make sure that his signings are done properly and everything's above board. And I do actually. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right.
Other pieces of news: Castleford, they announced a major rebrand of the head of the club.
He's shaking his head. Look at him.
I don't want to start bagging Castleford here, but it looks like somebody's had what's it called? Paint by Crayola as a kid, making their new badge.
It looks very Hull City, doesn't it?
I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't understand this, and it might just be me, but I'm sure you guys will agree. How many times did Salford change the badge over a 5 year, 5 years? Like, they changed the badge so many times. Why is that they're like putting a pause on team and going, right, we're going to relaunch them? They don't need a relaunch. Like, you know what I mean? Why change your badge? Like, I feel like, the kit design might have needed changing because it's always same every year. Maybe do a bit different with that, but badge were fine. It's like this thing where is Castleford now going to be grand finalists? They've got this new coach that's going to sign all these big stars. Like, for me, I don't understand it. There's so much history in that original logo. When you think of like Adrian Vowles and Danny Orr and so much about that logo, and then they're just going to change it for something so random. I don't understand.
I think what they've done, they've made it simple, so it's cheaper for people to get tattooed. That's my thoughts on it anyway.
Oh God, I don't know. It's a lot of people in the world, they don't like change, do they? I mean, when Rovers rebranded their logo a few years back, at the time everybody was like, "Oh no, we want the three crowns of the Hull, the Hull badge and all that type of stuff." And then after a few weeks, everybody forgot about it. So I'm pretty sure you'll get people's initial reactions. Yeah, it's good. No, it's not. We don't like it. Yes, we do like it. And then after a few months, I think it'll settle down. My only concern with that is, in my opinion, it probably looks more like an amateur rugby team's logo / badge than it does a professional sports team's badge. I think they've probably gone backwards with it rather than made it better for the digital world. I was reading something yesterday, actually. I don't know if you can shoot me down, anybody watching, or you two guys might tell me any different. I think out of all the current Super League teams, there's only one team that haven't changed their logo. Can you tell me who it is?
Leeds.
Obviously, all the clubs are in favour for it, aren't they? Because Leeds Rhino is the only team that haven't done it in the Super League era. So obviously, it's the thing to do. So yeah, that's that piece of news. We wish Cass all the best with that. We'll see how it goes. A couple of small bits. Catalans Dragons, apparently they're eyeing up Castleford Tigers centre Zach Sini. That again is a rumour, so we'll see how that goes. As we came on air to record earlier, Gaz O'Brien announced that he's signed a 1-year extension with the Lee Leopards until the end of next season. Ticks a big box for Lee. He's steady for them, isn't he? And he can win them games with his kicking game. So that's probably a box tick for them, like I say, and credit to him. Credit to Leopards for tying him down.
Another player that we let go young.
Yeah, that's it. He's been about a bit, hasn't
he? They want to make sure they've got that 6 and 7 going forward.
Yeah.
That's it. And the last piece of news, kick them while they're down. I mean,
these
today,
poor sods.
Yeah, I mean, you can't feel any sorry for them, can you? Any more sorry than you are.
They've not even got 5K.
I don't know. You deduct a team 2 points when I think they only had 6 in the first place.
Yeah,
something definitely.
The final tally has been 4, and I think can't remember the exact figures, but the points difference is absolutely ridiculous. And so Salford have been fined £5,000 and deducted 2 points in breach of a team selection rules against St Helens in round 1 of this year's competition.
Online, we got so much grief over that, saying, "Oh, you should have played a weaker team." From like, we didn't know what team they were putting out until they put it out, which comes out around the same time. What we're supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's a results-based sport, like everything else. You just play what's in front of you.
21-man squad or 18-man squad in, aren't you? A couple of days before. So let's be honest, you're always going to go strong, aren't you? Because if you go weak and you get caught out, you're gonna get slaver, aren't you, from your own fans. But yeah, I don't normally swear on the pod, but they've literally been shut on by the RFL.
Yeah, big stuff from a great site.
I think we all want the game to be successful, but where's the sort of where's the common sense involved with this? Because as far as I can see, there's zero with this this news today.
But for me, we don't even know where they're going. We don't even know if they've got a team. They couldn't pay their own players, and they're giving them a $5,000 fine. And I'm just like, you'll take the 2 points or 1 point deduction, whatever, because like I say, it don't make a difference. But for me, you're finding a team that's more or less being relegated from top division, let's be honest. But not only that, we don't even know if they've got a team. Hopefully they have. Hopefully they'll just drop to that other division, and even if it's not Salford Red Devils and it's something else, they can slowly build up, whatever. But I just think that's a bit harsh, to be honest.
Things are knowing that Salford fan base and what we've learned from them in recent weeks, they'll have a whip round for that between them, and they'll sort that out.
Oh yeah, they will.
The fans will sort that out. And credit to them.
It should never get to that point, though, should it?
No, they shouldn't.
We all love the game. We play the game, we watch the game, we breathe the game. And Salford supporters are no different. So why does Salford, and particularly their club, why do they need to go down this road again? They've had enough crap this season, and it's no fault of their own supporters. It's just crazy, isn't it? The way
it's what you said, though, guys. For them. When you were saying earlier, when you were weighing up, sorting out, is it Ridley's fine?
Yeah.
And you were on about, that they're like football players, and compared to us, Salford being fined $5,000. Could you imagine if they were fined $75,000?
They did end up having to close up shop.
Well, exactly. You can tell the difference between, wages clearly. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Another thing for me as well, lads, is like the RFL know what's gone on all year round. It's like they've been waiting in the background to throw this at them, because they've had since round 1 to come up with this.
Yeah.
And I know they give them the opportunity to go to court and all that, and no Salford representation turned up for obvious reasons. But why do they just need to wait until now? You know what I mean? Let them go. Let them go out in their own way in peace.
They probably thought, right, season's over. We've got through it. We're still alive for now. Yeah. And then they drop down them. Well, it's a shit house movie, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. It's one
you
of them.
Just wait over it, wouldn't you? And just go. Won't say it. We'll just leave it.
No, that is paying for the RFL's piss up. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. We like to come on here and promote the game, but you end up with these absolute nonsense pieces of news coming out, and you're thinking, it's difficult to keep praising them at the top in the RFL, and it's like you do that. If you're going to do that, you keep it indoors and you don't announce it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's not a good look for the Super League, is it? When you're doing that, it's like sticking a knife in somebody's back, in it. It's just a no for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So yeah, that's that piece of news. 25-year wide to west pride. Do you want to run us through that?
25 years since the greatest try ever scored in the history of rugby league and union. Like, as I said before on my socials, I won't be told otherwise. I'm sure there might be an argument for it somewhere, but I'm not having it. It's again, the timing of it, like the time of the game. Quiet you. Can see you. It's like the last second of the game, we're losing. And and that's what we've not had for a long time. That's why I want to make such a fuss of it, is we've lost that never say die attitude in the last few years. It's just gone. And we need to get that identity back.
It's certainly a special moment. I don't know about you, but where's that 25 years gone? It's crazy, isn't
no
it?
idea.
It's
Oh, I know what you're thinking, Jordan. You're thinking Ryan Hall against Huddersfield, aren't you?
What, best try?
Yeah.
No.
We could do a full episode on best tries, really, can't we?
No, I'm not thinking of that one.
No, we can do what we can put that in a box and do that post-season.
That's it. We'll do that on our 10th year anniversary of the podcast, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll strive for better all the time, lads. So,
Right.
next topic before I hand over to Jordan and the preview of the playoff eliminators is one small matter of the Super League Dream Team 2025. I will run through the players and the positions at the players' event. So, fullback the Wigan Warriors, Jai Field. On the wing, Liam Marshall of the Wigan Warriors. Centre, Peter Hickle of Hull Kingston Rovers. To the centre, Amaya Hiley from the Leopards. Hull FC's Lewis Martin on the other wing. Mikey Lewis, Jake Connor from Hull KR and Leeds Rhinos, respectively. Props, Mike McMeekin of Wakefield Trinity and Herman Hesse of Hull FC. Jez Litton as hooker for Hull Kingston Rovers. Dean Litton, second row, Hull Kingston Rovers. James McDonald from the Leeds Rhinos in the other second row. And loose man, and probably the best loose man in the competition this year. Some people will argue about that. From St Helens, Morgan Knowles. Fairly strong team, lads. Is there anything you change with that?
Yeah, there's one. I would have had Jake Wardle in there.
I was just about to say that.
I think Jake Wardle over Handley, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's the issue of Michael Lewis, Bevan French. I think French was out for a while when he saw Michael Lewis has been ever present. He's missed like what 1 or 2 games through injury. So yeah, I've got no arguments other than Wardle.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd have probably gone with Wardle for sure. Herman Hesse, what you guys might tell me different because obviously we have a massive rivals with him. He started the first half of the season fairly strong, didn't he? And people will say, well, that's the reason Bevan French in that squad because he was injured for half of the season or a good chunk of the season. So, is there any arguments for him being in there? And if so, who would you replace him with?
Alex Walmsley. I don't think he's done enough throughout the season to earn the spot there.
I think Sam Lasone should have a shout.
That's a good shout. Yeah.
I mean, not the last couple of games because I think he's been found out last couple of games, but from off the bench this season in particular, he's been a big impact off bench for Rhinos. Definitely give us something in attack.
I've got one, and if he was in a stronger side, he'd be in there, and that's Sangare.
Yeah.
Now I think it's all down to the results. He's had with Salford, but if he had been in say like a Hull FC or Casford or whatever, I think he would have been in there.
I think judging and looking at them 13 players in that Super League Dream Team, it's probably consistency for 3/4 of the season. I'd have thought with majority of them, because like you say, there's arguments for Bevan French if he's fully fit, he probably gets in over Lewis, and the same with Hesse. The back row, James McDonald, who plays for Rhinos. I haven't seen much of him, Jordan. Has he caught your eye?
He's been solid. He has been solid. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised really he's in the team, but he's been solid. He has been solid. He's put a graft in when he's played. He's one of those that few games each season he did catch eye where I think he scored 4 tries or 3 tries in one of games. But he's a good workhorse. He surprised me because when we got him, I were a bit like I thought he was going to let him go. But he's a good solid second rower. But I'm glad he's in there. I am surprised Minicello's not in there.
Yeah. I think
he's one of those players, James McDonald. He'll attract defenders when he's carrying the ball, and he's getting that quick play of the ball as well.
In that squad, the only two things I'd sort of say is, again, you can't play all your halves, can you? But I think Lockie Lamb's had a decent season, hasn't he? I mean, he's got some hell of a record in terms of assists. I thought he was a bit thingy to miss out, but like you say, you can't pick them all. Another big shout out for me is he's been consistent all the way through the season. And that's why, he's in that Super League dream team. But I saw it more when we played Wakefield Trinity both times. Mike McMeekan is an handful, isn't he, Gaz?
Yeah, yeah, he's one of those players. He doesn't do anything. He's not a flashy player. He's not gonna carry 50 meters. But he'll put a dent in the line. I mean, he'll have three or four defenders on him. Gets down in his front, plays the ball, and they're off, which is what you want from a prop forward.
Yeah, you could probably make another 13 up and have a bloody 13 on 13, and it'd still be as strong as the Super League dream team, wouldn't it? So there's, like you say, there's an argument for quite a few players who you'd change and all that type of thing. So yeah, that's the Super League dream team, and obviously that concludes that and the news. So Jordan, do you want to preview the Eliminator playoffs for the coming week?
Yeah, so elimination playoff. We see Leigh at home to Wakefield on the Friday. That I see Leigh winning that, but I don't know about you guys. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think both games are going to be tough, to be honest. I think it'll either be there'll be a lot of errors because both teams probably want it so bad. I don't think it's going to be probably the cleanest of victories for whoever wins the game. But I predict Leigh winning that game. By you guys?
Yeah, I predict Leigh for the grand final. If I'm going to be honest, I think that they've just got it in them this year. They're going to have too much for them.
Carl?
Yeah, there was something that I noticed on weekend when Wakefield played Salford. Actually, I think Jowett limped off. Now for me, he's your goal kicker. He creates stuff out the back, and I think if Wakey was to go over there and turn Leigh over in the backyard, I think he'd be a big part of that because he's not playing. I think that'll be the difference. I expect Leigh to win, and that'll be contributing factor towards that win, especially like we've just touched on in terms of Lockie Lamb. He's throwing it about, he's assisting, he's scoring tries himself. So I think Leigh at home will just be that bit too strong for Wakey.
I think just before we move on, I don't think Wakefield can prepare for that game any better than they have. I mean, like I say, winning OKR and then, would it Salford that they've just beat? You can only play that what's in front of you. And, they're definitely performance-wise, probably best performance you can say Wakefield. So full credit to them. It'll be a tough game, that. But yeah, going on to Saturday's game, which unfortunately 3 will become 2. I'm not doing a Spice Girls song.
Please don't.
I think it's 3 become 1, and not 3 become 2. But unfortunately, one of us is going to be on the sidelines for the rest of the pod, and I'll be honest, I can't call it.
I would not be surprised if this goes to Golden Point.
Yeah. Do you know what, Gaz? I personally feel it's going to be a very, very scrappy game.
It's going to be a long 80 minutes, isn't it?
It's going to be a long 80 minutes game. I don't know who Leeds are going to be putting out. Hopefully they're going to put the best team out. Everyone's fit. I can't predict that one. You've got a record with us this season. But then we've also turned you over at Magic Weekend. So it depends on what Saints team's turning up and what Rhinos team's turning up. The fact that we're at home probably gives us a massive chance. But I don't know. I can't predict that one, so I'm leaving my thoughts out on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that one where it is. We'll pick that up next week after the game and see where we are.
I think
Carl's just thinking you
bird
of shit houses.
I think we can both agree as well, Gaz. Considering last couple of weeks, you've probably not been your best. Rhinos haven't been the best. You don't know what sort of version you're going to get, do you?
You don't know if both sides are going to be knackered or one's going to switch it on or both.
I think when you think of the 27 rounds, I know that Leeds have got it in them to turn that OKR performance on that they played. That performance where they beat at Magic Weekend. I know they've got that in locker where they can just turn up and it's like they you know, they had just lost 2 games in a row and they bounce back. I know they can do that. Just like I know you know, Saints can do it. It's
I
that.
think one thing I'll predict is whoever gets over the line first will win it.
Yeah.
It's going to be that tight.
Yeah.
It'll certainly be interesting. It's one of those. If Jake Connor plays, and I've said it, I'm like a stuck record because I've said it last couple of weeks on each pod. I think if Jake Connor plays, he can be the difference to unlocking the Saints' defense.
Mm.
But then on the flip side of that, Saints have probably been slightly better in defense than Rhinos, but they're lacking in the final third.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very, very close. I just think he could be the difference. I think Saints will keep him out for a long period of time. But
the
if
team
Connor
selection
doesn't
is going to
play,
go a long way as well, I think. It depends on what team Mellons puts out there as well.
Yeah, and if he starts, round pegs in square holes with Sailor and Wellesby and all that again, a massive factor in terms of the result.
Yeah. The likes of your Wigan, your OKR, Lee, we've just not been able to get there.
It's a weird season for you because it's like you've underparred, haven't you, to where as a Saints fan you expect to finish. But you see, for us, no matter what happens from like, Saturday, we can actually hold his head high and say we've had a fantastic season because considering where we were, we might not win a trophy this year, but for me, the progression's there.
You've improved.
We've improved. You can see signs of improvement. You can see where we've kind of got that hunger back that we've been missing for X amount of years. So for me, losing against you on Saturday and it being a tough game, close game, points wise, defensive wise, etc. We lose, I'll hold me a die and I'll say we've had a great season.
Yeah, and if we lose, I'll go, well, we get what we deserve. A clean game. There's no shenanigans. There's no controversy. Just whoever's better on the day wins. I'm going to live with that as long as we go down. If we lose, go down fighting. Don't roll over. So, it is what it is, isn't it? We'll soon find out.
Well, I'm not going to get a prediction out of you two, so I'm going to predict Lee to beat Wakey, and I'm sorry, Gaz, but I'll predict Rhinos to beat St. Helens.
No offense taken.
If Jake Connor's playing, because for me, he will be the difference.
He will be playing. He will be playing. He has to play.
We just have to get under his skin early.
It's one of those things. He will play because he didn't need to play against Wigan. That's the thing. That's the difference. We were always going to be fourth anyway. We didn't need to play. We didn't need to play against Wigan. That's why the Wigan game is probably the only game all season I can say is just a pointless game because Hull KR won't lead a shield. Wigan weren't playing for out. Leeds weren't realistically playing for out because Lee never really struggled in that game. So we're never going to, snap third spot. And like I say, his team weren't nowhere good enough to even compete with anyone in that game. So for me, throw everybody back this week, and we'll just see what happens. Happens.
May the better side on the day win.
Yep.
I think that about wraps it up on it. So, a big thank you to everyone listening and supporting the podcast so far. Please continue liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, tell everyone. Again, a massive thanks to our sponsor, Acorn Joinery Leeds, for the support. And remember, the podcast is by the fans, for the fans.